Are you serious, movie? Is this how Nick Fury loses his eye? What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to talk about Captain Marvel, and this will be a video filled with spoilers, so if you do have the intention to see the film and you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to check out my non-spoiler review. Anyways, today I really wanted to talk about the problem with Captain Marvel, and I'm not talking about any controversy, I'm talking about the film. If you check out my non-spoiler review, you would know that I thought that the Captain Marvel was a very uninspiring hero. Throughout the entire film, I did not see, there was not one moment of heroism where I really was like, wow, Captain Marvel is really something. So far, I'm just very worried for the MCU because, you know, they've been very smart creating this great universe, setting up characters within 10 years, and now bringing in an overpowered character to save the day. If that is what they're planning, I just think that this is not going to play well, at least not with me. So let's talk about Captain Marvel and a lot of the things that didn't work. So the movie begins with Captain Marvel completely forgetting who she is. She has no idea where she came from. She wakes up and then she's fighting with the noble warrior heroes, whatever called the Kree, and they're hunting the Skrulls. And the space things actually looked really cool. That was actually a part that was like, wow, this is looking really good. Great visual effect. And then you have Jude Law over there, which is kind of play her mentor, which later, by the way, we find out that he's actually the villain, one of the villains. It was kind of predictable, nothing new there. But anyways, so she's over there fighting this thing, and then something happens and she ends up on Earth. So one of the things that I thought it was very good, very cool, is how she is able to hack our technology in order to talk to the Kree people. So that part, I thought it was pretty cool. And I think that entirely the first half was the strongest part, because that's the part where you see her having some personality, you know, cracking some jokes here and there, and that's where she meets Nick Fury as well, very early in the film, and that's all that thing. I had no problem with it. In fact, I was like, if the movie continues this way, I'm fine with it. So the scene inside the train that we actually see on the trailer was actually a very cool scene, because that's where you see a very kind of sweet cameo from Stan Lee, and I really enjoy that. So she's walking inside that train looking for the Skrulls. The Skrulls, they have shape-shifting ability, so they can become whoever they want. So she's walking inside this train, and then she looks at this man, and then she just pulls, he's reading a newspaper, she pulls the newspaper, that's Stan Lee's, and she actually kind of smiles at him, and I thought that was very nicely done. Then she continues to walk until she actually see the old lady, which is not an old lady, but is a Skrull. So that part, it was good, it was funny. No problem up to that moment. I think that later is where the problems start happening. For instance, this movie is very expository, like the dialogue is very in your face, and I'm going to explain what I mean. For instance, have you ever heard of that thing in movies, show do not tell? But in this film, they tell you everything, as if like as if we are, as the audience, we're dumb, we need to be told everything, and I really hate that. You know, I think the best thing in cinema is that fact that they can show things and not just tell you. So there's a lot of that in this film. The other thing that I did not think it worked, and I think for me was the worst thing, was Nick Fury. I think that Nick Fury did not look like Nick Fury in this film. He was a completely different character, and he loses his eye to the freaking cat. And you know, it was just so stupid. The scene is basically this: he's sitting inside his spaceship, or it's not a spaceship, maybe it was like whatever. He's sitting over there and he's playing with the cat like this, and people had already told him to watch out for this cat. And there's so many scenes where he's just like like doing all these stupid things, and I was like, what is going on here? And then he's playing with the cat, and the cat just kind of scratches his eye, and that's how Nick Fury loses his eye. That to me was such a bummer, because again, I would have rather not know that, because you know, there was, remember when Nick Fury said last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye? Well, that kind of implies that, well, maybe it was, I don't know, someone very close to him, or like a really crazy fight or whatever. No, he lost the eye to the freaking cat, and I really did not like that. I thought that's just so dumb. In fact, Nick Fury was very dumbed down in this film. I just don't understand why they have to do that. You know, he really did not seem like Nick Fury from the movies that we are used to see. So I definitely was like, man, this guy, whatever. So the cat is not really a cat. It's kind of an alien that has tentacles, and the cat, there's a lot of very cute scenes involving the cat, but when he's using the tentacles and eating things, it's just the CGI did not look well. It actually looked very weird. So for some reason, I thought the CGI in this film was not very great. Even the CGI on Samuel Jackson's face, it was distracting to me, even though for the most part it was very good, but to me it was still noticeable. But anyways, I think that, yes, the cat had some cute scenes. The cat is an alien and can do all these weird things, but it's fine. Nothing great over there. But then there's another big twist in this film, and that is the fact that the Skrulls that Captain Marvel, you know, Carol Danvers believes to be the enemy is actually, they're refugees. They're actually the ones that were being slaughtered and being killed by the Kree, which is, she thought that, you know, they were heroes, but they're actually the villains. So it kind of swaps around, and that was something I did not see coming. I did not see coming that the Skrulls were going to be good, you know. Also, I think Ben Mendelsohn was pretty good in this film. I really enjoyed his portrayal. He's a great actor, so he's always great to watch. But I think my biggest issue with this film, as far as, you know, Captain Marvel, there was they made such a big deal about this film, you know, the first female lad. This is the one movie they couldn't mess it up, but in my opinion they really did, because I left the theater, I was like, so what, Captain Marvel? I still don't care. I still don't care about the character, because I don't think that they really provide us anything really meaningful in the films so I could care. For instance, this is a very overpowered character. You definitely call her a Mary Sue, because definitely that's what she is, which I don't, you know, I don't have a problem with overpowered characters as long as you explain to us why she's so overpowered, and as long as you gives a lot of obstacles so we can at least be on the edge of my seat. Oh my God, how she's going to get out of that? So there's no moment like that. Not even, there's not one part in this film where I thought, wow, how is she going to get out of that? No, the entire film she's just very cocky. She can do this, she can do that. She was having fun with her powers, but there is no like I said, no obstacles. Like let me use an example of another superpowered character. That would be Superman. Superman is extremely superpowered. He's the strongest one in the DC universe, right? But Superman always has a weakness, which is kryptonite. And if you take Man of Steel as an example, for instance, he has to fight with another 20 Superman or 10, I don't know, Zod plus the whole gang, which they have the same power as Superman. So that creates that tension, and that even though Superman is so superpowered, you're still gonna think, oh my God, how is he gonna get out of that? How is he's just one person, how is he gonna fight all of these people that has the same power? So this kind of thing in this film was completely lacking. There's no character in this film that could compare to Captain Marvel or go face to face with Captain Marvel, because they made her extremely overpowered. Like I said, I don't care about being overpowered, but just make it seem earned. I also, the whole thing when she gets her power, she kind of absorbs it with the Tesseract, whatever. I was like, I just was like, is that it? It seemed, the way that it showed in the film, it really seemed like anyone that was there would have had the same powers. The film does not show that there's anything special about Captain Marvel. So that's a problem in my opinion. It's definitely a problem. You want your hero to be super inspiring. You want your hero to do heroic things where you're just gonna go, wow, I really want to be like this person. This person really rocks. And I really didn't see anything. The movie was just very flat. Great action here and there. The choreography was really nice. The visual effects in space was really cool. But it's just, there is no obstacles. The villain was also very weak, which ends up being Jude Law, you know, and everyone thought that he was going to play Marvel, but he actually didn't. He plays the captain of the Kree. and he's kind of like this person that's been training her, and not only training her but also kind of, you know, making sure that she doesn't remember her past. And there's one scene where they go at the very end, when she finds out the whole truth. They're trying to fight each other, right? But he knows there's no way he can fight her because she's extremely overpowered. And then he just tell her, oh, you have to turn off your powers and just face me without that, because otherwise basically it's not gonna be a fair fight. And then there's another funny moment where she just boom blast him, and I was like, I got no problem with that. That has been done so many times in films. It was a little bit funny. Indiana Jones did it better, I've gotta say that. But for instance, another thing that really annoyed me in this film, again, she's very super powered character, right? So there's this one scene where the Kree capture her. So she's like, they tied her up and she's on the ground, on her knees, and she's in this world. Every time she closes her eyes, she goes to talk to this image of I don't even know what the hell that was. I was like, whatever. So anyway, so she's tied out like this, and then she's in this kind of virtual reality talking to this the Kree people over there, and where this is at the point where she already finds out that they're the bad guys. So she's over there tied out, and then she is able to, by herself, break the inhibitor that was actually stopping her to go full power, and then her entire body starts glowing, and then she just go boom, and then everyone goes to the side. And even though it was a cool scene, I enjoyed that. The only thing that bothered me is the fact that once her powers were completely released and she had all that power, she had absolutely no struggles to learn how to use them. And I was like, that's no way. Like, it's just so classic in a superhero. When you receive a certain power, you have to learn how to use it. No, she's just so good that she's just begins flying in space and doing all these crazy things. And I was like, what? I mean, remember Superman when he's first trying to fly and he goes like this and then he falls? There's nothing like that, guys. And I just, well, so the way that the entire film really paints Captain Marvel as the strongest one. In my opinion, that's what she is. And it really shows that she is the one that could indeed defeat Thanos. And that's my biggest concern when it comes to this film, because is it fair to just bring a character that you just introduced to defeat Thanos instead of giving, I don't know, it would be way more satisfying if you had a character like Thor, for instance, going over there and defeating Thanos, or even Iron Man, or I don't know, whoever, because these people have history with Thanos. The victory will be way more meaningful. And let's get to the end credit scene. If you don't believe me that they're completely painting her to be the one that is just gonna jump in and save Endgame, I mean, I don't know, because that's exactly how this movie, that's the biggest problem with Captain Marvel in my opinion. So the end credit scene is basically Captain America and Black Widow. They're staring at the page, which is still blinking, I believe, and then it just turns off completely. And War Machine is also there, and as well as the Hulk. And they're talking about this pager, and Captain America is trying to think, I wonder who Nick Fury was trying to send a message to. And Black Widow said, well, whoever it was, this meant something to Nick Fury, so it should mean something to us too. We need to find out who he was trying to contact. And then when Black Widow just turns, who's there? It's Captain Marvel right there. She has longer hair and a different suit, different than from what we've seen before. So it definitely shows that time has been passing, and also this end credit scene appears to be very close after Infinity War, because Captain America still has a beard on, and you know, if you saw the trailer for Endgame, he's shaven, so this might be something that's gonna happen early in the film. Also, Black Widow has a shorter hair than in the trailer, so that really leads me to think that they're really painting Captain Marvel to be that one person that is going to be key to the wars against Thanos. I just think that we as the audience need more time to bond with the character. We need to understand a little more. Like for me, she was just completely uninspiring, nothing really heroic. There was no one scene, like if you go, I'm gonna compare to Wonder Woman, for instance. Remember that one very awesome scene called the No Man's Land, where Wonder Woman is walking in slow motion and she tells the guys, this is what I'm gonna do. No, because the guys are saying we can't really cross, and she said, I'm going to get involved, and I'm going to get involved on this war. And then she's walking in slow motion, and then people are shooting at her, and then she uses her shield, and then she's doing, it's just like that scene was just so heroic, and it was just so inspiring. That's the one thing I was like, wow, Wonder Woman rocks. And I didn't feel anything like that anywhere near close on this film. This is what, in my opinion, was lacking. No heroic moment. I was like, oh my god, this is supposed to be Captain Marvel, like the biggest MCU's strongest character, and there's nothing like that. It's just her being overpowered and defeating everyone with such ease. It didn't make any sense to me, and just make a character not interesting. Just don't understand why they have to do that. You have to give a character some sort of obstacles. You get, you know, otherwise it's just, I don't know. There's a very end scene over there where that guy that already died from Galaxy of the Guardians, I'll put a picture of him right here because I can't remember his name. He's trying to attack Earth, and then he's throwing all these bombs at Earth, and then she's just like, woohoo, 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 just destroying the bombs with such ease, and then she basically just stares at him and just goes like this. I mean, it is funny to see her doing that, and I'm fine with it, but like I said, the entire film was pretty much just this. There was not one villain that could beat her. There was no obstacles. I still don't know what Captain Marvel stands for. If you ask me what Captain Marvel stands for, I don't know the answer, you know. Why is she doing what she's doing? I don't know the answer. I just, whatever. They have to do better. Now, bringing her into Endgame, I don't know. And then let's talk about the last end credit scene. That was a very short one. Pretty much that is Goose throwing up the Tesseract that he swallowed earlier on the film. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I didn't really mind. I didn't really care. I think that scene was just there for there. It doesn't, to me, the only scene that was key was the one that was the mid-credit scene where we can actually see, wow, Captain Marvel is definitely going to be very involved in Endgame. The thing a lot of people were complaining is the Avengers name was inspired by Captain Marvel. And I didn't really mind that, and I'll tell you why. It's because sometimes the name was still given by Nick Fury, and sometimes you can get inspiration from anywhere. You know, my dad got my name from a dentist. He was walking on the street and he saw a dentist's office, and there was like a sign, and then that's where he got my name from. So that was kind of his inspiration. And Nick Fury is looking at a picture of Captain Marvel, and she's just like posing like this on, not dressed as Captain Marvel, she was dressed as the pilot that she used to be before, and her airplane says Captain Avenger something, and that's where he got the Avengers name. And then he writes down, and this is before when he's deciding to recruit people for the Avengers. So yes, the Avengers kind of is inspiring. The other thing that really shows is that the appearance of Captain Marvel shows, wow, there's people with powers. And I don't know, it also appears to be that the way that they're framing her in this film, she might be the one to be leading the Avengers going forward. Is that going to work? I mean, to me, she's very uninspiring. She did not grow on me, not yet. She's not nearly as charming as Tony Stark, for instance. Tony Stark, he is kind of cocky, but he's so charming the way that he talks. And I didn't feel that with Captain Marvel. Like I said, we need more time so the character can grow on you. And I love a lot of you guys that do not like Brie Larson as a person. The character probably will never grow on you as long as she's playing them. So that's even harder. I kind of stayed away from that because I really wanted to focus on the film and see how is this was going to fit within the universe. And I was left very disappointed. But anyways, drop your comment below. Let me know, what did you think about Captain Marvel? Did you think this movie worked? Do you think that, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. Drop your comments below. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.